It is Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. This is the meeting of the Board of Health. Can I have a roll call, please?
Gavin Byers.
James LaQueer.
And Chris Nocella. Any additions or deletions, Carla?
Do not have any.
Don't have any, Rick?
Nope.
Nope, okay, we're all set with that. Let's go to 1.3, 22 Main Street Change of Use Update.
So I think, from our perspective, we had talked about this at the last meeting.
Yeah.
And the tank that you guys had required be installed was installed. The Title V inspection was received. And so she's essentially met all of your requirements in order to open the vet's office.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it's really a zoning issue at this point. So I would say it's probably time for you to remove it from your agenda. Unless you want the zoning updates, but I'm not aware of any at this point.
It's pretty much, basically, everything we could do is done, right? So we can remove that, Carla? Okay?
That ticket was paid too?
No, it's
That's not resolved
under,
yet?
it's under the order that Eric has with all the other
Okay.
issues, so.
Is that something you want to see held up,
Is
Gavin,
that,
until it's paid?
you're talking about the one for the transfer station,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
Okay.
correct.
I don't know, how do we hold that up
I'm just,
till it's
yeah,
paid, if we can, or we can't?
I'm just
I don't
asking the
think we-
question.
I would think that that has to be enforced.
Yeah,
We can't let somebody get away with it. It's gonna be
well,
enforced.
I agree, I just don't know how to enforce it.
It was a 21D ticket, right? And you wrote it, Carla? So, yeah, I would say that if you want to try to collect it and find out what your enforcement options are, then you'll get on Adam's agenda the next time that he's available to figure out how to do that.
That's what we'll do. Go ahead, Jim.
Does that require counsel for a letter to follow it through?
I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Sorry.
we'll get on Adam's agenda for the next time, and we'll
Alright.
tell him to send her another letter trying to collect the waste that she left at the recycle center, at the gate. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to 1.4, 5 Turnpike Road Housing Update.
And I also don't have an update on that, so same as when we last talked. Adam, as far as I know, has filed the paperwork. The last I spoke to him, he had sent me over a verified complaint, which was part of the filing with the court. And I hadn't heard back from him since, so I'm assuming we're just waiting at this point.
He will actually contact you to let you know.
I would assume so, because I'm assuming I'm gonna have to be going into court with him.
Okay. All right. Any questions? No?
What's the time frame on that, Rick? Because it's gone on for a long
Yeah, I
time
think
now.
we're really at the mercy of the court at this point. And I know housing court is pretty backed up right now. So,
Now, does that delay them moving out of that apartment still?
our part of it would never really be an eviction. I mean, the judge could certainly go down that road and have that be a part of his order. But our goal is really just to correct the violations. And I know I did speak with the Elder Services about 2 weeks ago, and there's a new case manager involved. She had said that they were still signed up for the heavy cleaning, which would take care of the concerns that we had. So you remove the debris from the egresses, open them back up, help her get all the trash out of there and get organized. But there wasn't a date set to do that. She said that she would update me and took all my contact information once it was actually scheduled, but I have not heard anything from her since.
Give her a courtesy call for us,
Okay.
so we have something to work with,
Sounds good.
okay?
Okay. All right, so let's move on to 1.5, 22 Sonora Road. Septic upgrade with variances.
You've got your copy of mine.
I do. Take it away. Should I go up the seat? Full speed. Sure.
Let's do that. And so, just to start it out, I gave, this is an actual hearing that required abutter notifications.
That's this one?
So
Yeah.
Carla does have the proof of
Didn't see this?
notification for the abutters.
No, you haven't seen this either. These are all the variants that I'm
Have
looking
two
for.
copies, just one.
Yeah.
You have mine as well, if you'd like.
Could you please introduce yourself? 'Cause
Yes,
I
absolutely.
do not know who you are.
Sure, my name is Evan.
Hi,
I'm
Evan.
with Innovative Septic Design,
Okay,
and
Thank
I'm
you.
working with Jane and Mike
Mhm.
on the proposed septic system here to replace a failed cesspool. We're at 22 Sonora Road, and we've got some variance requests here. It is a tight lot. It's about 20 some feet wide, well, 25 feet in the back, 21 feet in the front. And so it's a narrow strip.
21 or 20? Is
I
it
bel-
21?
I believe it's 21.
That was 20. Oh, is
Um,
that right, Mike?
We don't know.
You mean it down at the shore or up
Yeah,
at the
at
road?
the shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's just call it 20.
we thought it was 20.
The
but-
deed references 20.
Let's just call it 20, yeah. So 20 feet in the front, 25 feet in the back. The system that's being proposed is the Presby AES, which is Advanced Enviro Septic, STU equivalent. So it is the equivalent approval of a fast jet, singular, certain approved technologies that do treat the wastewater. So the difference between a standard Presby and this is it's got extra sand underneath it, and it's got a collection port here. And it has monitoring requirements just like a fast tank. And it needs to be held to that standard of 30 milligrams per liter or less of biological oxygen demand and total suspended salts. So it is the equivalent of those systems. Not of nitrogen reduction, but of a secondary treatment unit. So to go down the list of the requests here, we've got property line on both sides. The closest for the leach field is on this side, which is 221 Sonora Road, and that is just over 6.5 feet. And on this side,
Just kids.
just over 9 feet. So the request is the property lines on both sides. And then, let's see, we've got the distance from the well. This is the closest well here, which is 65.5 feet, which is not anything closer than what was previously approved, because the existing cesspool is right there, which is actually a little bit closer than our system. So, and I don't know if that's been drilled yet, but it was staked when I was out there.
Right.
That was
It has been.
it has been drilled, yeah. So that existing cesspool is just a tad closer. But then we also have this well here, which is 78 feet, just a bit over 78 feet. And that would be the offset to that well.
Now, is that a surface well or an artesian?
I believe that's an artesian well
Okay.
over at 25 Sonora Road. So then we've got a new well. So this currently doesn't have a well, correct? It's from the
water
pond.
from the pond.
It's coming out of the pond. So this is a newly proposed well in the back here. This is just over 72 feet to the well at 21 Sonora Road. And it is 12 feet from the rear property line, and I believe to this property line.
What did you
as well.
say? It's 72 feet from what?
From the
Septic.
area at 21
Basic
Sonora
well.
Road, yes. Yep. And then we are within, I believe your regulation is 20 or 25 feet to the property line?
25.
25 feet, and we're 12. The closest is 12.
Where is the access to this system? Is this out front or is there a driveway out here? Where's the driveway?
So there's none.
Where's the water?
Where's the water? What water?
I
The
thought
water,
there
the
was-
water line?
No, I thought this was a pond.
Oh, the water's over here.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's the 100-foot right there.
They're right on the pond.
Yeah.
Yep, so this is right on the pond, so the 100-foot goes right through the system, the middle of the system, that's this.
Now,
bowl of-
this is an actual road right here,
So this is the road here, yeah. Stop.
and they're gonna have to cross the road.
Yes. Yep, and so that is proposed to be sleeved. Sleeved and insulated.
You didn't mention the septic tank. You just started with the leach field.
Oh, well, yeah, the septic tank is right before it.
There's a different variance there, and there is it.
I'm sorry?
Is there a different variance?
There is a variance for the septic tank to the property line as well. Yep.
How much is that?
So I showed it's 5 feet 8 inches, and so the request, I believe, is yeah, approximately 5.5 feet to the property line.
How
Is there
far
a
from the-
distance from the road?
How far from the road is the tank?
Yeah.
Oh, it's right there, but it is H20. Everything here is H20 loading, so that it can be driven on. Because of the proximity to the road here and the driveway here, and again, there's no parking over here, so it would be nice for them to be able to park somewhere. So we've got the tank, distribution box, and field are all.
Can I slide this way just a little bit?
Sure.
Absolutely, Jim.
There's also offsets to the proposed water line. 5 feet, which would have to be sleeved. The water line would have to be sleeved anywhere it's closer than 10 feet to the leach field.
That's a pre-existing shed?
Yes.
Is it, on any type of concrete slab?
No.
Is it movable?
Yeah.
It's, yeah, we easily,
There's also local upgrade approval for 1 deep test hole in comparison to 2, but I think it's, with conversation with Rick, it's pretty uniform out there. We had all good sand and gravel.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about making this as equitable as possible for you, because it's a pre-existing condition and we have to work with it.
Yeah.
You won't mind me, Mr. Chairman?
No, please do, Jim.
And, the test hole, Rick, would you come over here, please?
Yep.
Sorry, I smell.
Do you?
Yeah, I've been working.
I didn't notice.
This is the actual test hole right here?
Right here.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
that
test
would be
hole
the
and that's
part.
the perk test.
The elevation is fairly flat.
Once we get down into this area, it was relatively flat. This is a bit of an incline.
4 feet.
So let's see, it got, so there's 100, there's
98, that's 2 feet, okay.
Yep, and then what's our surface elevation, 9721.
All right, so there's 3 feet, okay.
So 9721 up to, well, we're not quite at the 100, so yeah, probably around 99, so about 2 foot.
I'm gonna recommend something to the board.
Yes.
This is a very, very bizarre scenario. I have to say, this is one of the most complex ones I've seen. But my suggestion to the board, because that's where the hole was dug and the elevations aren't that far off, 3 feet.
Right.
I think we should recommend that this entire system gets moved back at least 10 or 12 feet to get this tank farther off the road so they're not intentionally parking on the H20 tank.
You have room for that. The only thing is, you're gonna change your variance?
Well, yeah.
It's gonna have to adjust the variance to the well on this side.
Yeah.
That one's gonna stay the same. That has no reflection on what's going on because that's part of the new well for the house.
That won't impact this well arc is right here. This is that well.
Okay, so that's out of that, but
Hmm.
taking and having all this so close to the road is not the right way to install the system, in my opinion. We have to work with this, we've gotta make it be correct to all we have to govern ourselves with here. But I believe that the system should be slid back at least 15 feet. The shed could be moved back also, it's not a permanent structure. That takes the tank, moves the tank back, it gives them a road room off the, this is a paved road, I take it, or dirt?
Paved.
Paved road,
Oh,
okay.
paved road.
That makes it more feasible and practical, in my opinion, for everything they're gonna do here. And you're not putting, even though it's an H20 tank, it will remain that way, but you're not parking on that septic tank all the time.
Yep.
in the variances we have to grant, they're gonna be flexible a little bit anyway. So, this is an opportunity to make this right here at this meeting
Absolutely.
and let these people go forward.
Yeah. So you're suggesting they move the tank and the.
The tank
leach
and the
field?
leaching facility at least 15 feet
Yeah, off the edge of the road?
off where it's drawn at this point.
Okay.
Slide everything back because you can do that. You only got a 3-foot variation in elevation. This goes to 96, so
Yeah, it's
it's
not
very,
much.
very minimal.
Yeah.
Very, very minimal, but it's gonna be a better installation with all the variances that are involved.
Now, as far as their shed goes, the shed will move with
Yeah.
the, what is it? Is it Schedule
It's-
40 or
it's-
something? The,
It's generous to call it a shed. It's,
It could be rebuilt or whatever,
Yeah,
but
sure.
you're looking at the money to install this and you want property value in the end here. So
Right,
let's do the best we can to assist you.
Yeah.
Oh,
With
yeah,
all the
no.
stuff you've got going on,
yeah.
we have to do something here to make it work, and I don't see this as being practical, being that close to the road. I just don't like it. And this is the conversation,
Well,
okay?
if the town's plowing that road, you're running over that a lot heavier.
It's
a lot
it's
heavier
too
than
close
you
to
are
the
with
road.
plow.
And, when they're digging the hole to put the tank in, they're gonna be obstructing the road doing that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
you just probably have just enough space, about 3 feet.
it's gonna be very, very tight, getting stone back on the bottom of the hole to set the tank, etc.
Yep.
I don't like this, but if it's moved back 15 feet,
Yeah, yeah. It was done this way to maximize well offsets, but
Yeah.
you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting to the board,
Oh, yeah.
not my decision, it's the
No.
board decision.
Well, I just wanted to let you know, I completely agree it's too close, but I just wanted to say that was the intent, is to maximize well
You,
offset.
you did a good job, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
assist you in making this a little bit better installation.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, where do I go with this now?
So,
Well,
Before.
should open it up for
yeah,
discussion for the
Cause I
butters.
got one thing,
Yeah.
Whoops, I'm sorry.
if you don't mind.
Yes.
These offset, these variances, what are the differences between pre-existing offsets and what we're doing now? So we've got, under Title V, we've got 5 different
Yeah.
variances. Of those 5, what's the difference between pre-existing situation and what we're looking to do now?
Sure, so right now, this existing cesspool is actually a bit closer. It's a bit closer than the proposed septic, not by much, a
So
couple feet. So that's,
let's take out anything that's less than a
Okay.
8-foot difference,
yep,
right?
so then.
So that's essentially the same.
That cesspool is outside of this well arc here at
Gotcha.
25. So we're
We're putting it inside,
yes, where the current cesspool is out.
okay. And so that's a well line item?
Yes, that is. Let's see.
Yeah, Townsend well, so
Yeah.
which one is that?
So you've got, it's actually in the front page here. It's fifth one. Yeah.
Yeah, so 100 foot,
Yeah.
over 72 feet.
So that's
Property line.
No, those are all septic 5 ones, so that's a well
This is
reg.
it right here. So 4051G, and it's this one, so it's 78 foot to 25. Oh, they
I
have the
don't
old
see that
letter.
one. We have
They
an old
have the old
Oh, it's
letter.
not the August 11th?
Yeah, no, they have the July
one.
letter.
Oh,
July,
yes.
July 1.
To you.
That's August 11th.
Okay.
That's why I was looking and I'm like, I don't see
I was
what you're
looking at it
talking
like, that
about.
doesn't look right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That'll help you, Gavin.
yep.
Okay, 5. Okay,
Anything water line
Mhm.
is being added because the water line now is
Sure.
just in the pond.
right,
And then property lines, so I would say that to this property line to 25 for the existing cesspool, they have the 10 feet. So we are adding a non-compliance on this side.
Mm-hmm.
We're not adding to it on this side because they're right up on it. So this more or less is the same. We're actually getting less so. And then this one we're adding because we are,
Closer to.
yeah, exactly,
Okay.
right around 9.
Okay.
And then, we covered all
And what's the difference? What's the actual difference in feet? So what are we talking about? Pre-existing versus new distance?
So that's going to be 9, the new. This one, I didn't put a tie on there. You have a ruler, do you? Oh, 12 and a half.
12 and a half to 9. Okay. So those are the major two differences,
Yep.
pre and post.
Yep.
Everything else should be,
The new well.
so then
The new well because it's.
anything else we're worried about is within the property owner's boundaries.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm sorry about that again.
What's that?
I didn't turn
No,
to you
not at
for-
all, not at all. No, that's
All
okay.
Everybody gets a turn.
That's all right, you're good, yeah. I
Hey,
just
I'm like
wanna,
you, I get.
I just
Right
wanna
away.
know the difference
Yeah.
for everybody else who's here in the audience, what the difference is between what we're doing moving forward and what was pre-existing.
Yep.
What we're actually talking about,
Yeah.
differences of,
That makes sense.
right, cause we're improving the situation.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Mhm.
So, what, I just wanna know, so everybody else in the room knows exactly what that difference is gonna be.
Yep.
And we're talking feet, 3.5 feet and 5 feet,
Yeah.
so, okay.
I'm bringing this up because I
Mhm.
know a little bit about it, so I just wanna make sure that this is a little bit better than, not that you didn't do a good job, but we're just trying to assist in.
No, I appreciate it.
Improving
I
on
appreciate
that.
it. Absolutely. I
Okay.
appreciate it. I do.
And that's gonna just make it better all the way around. It's getting
Sure.
everything off of the road,
Yep.
giving them parking that's not gonna be continually on top of the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Salt and stuff's gonna get through and eat at the tank.
100%.
Gonna
Makes
happen.
a lot of sense, yeah. Absolutely.
So, are you good now, Gavin?
I am, thank you.
Absolutely. You want to make a motion?
It's gonna take a
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah.
Oh, discussion.
You gotta
I'm
open it
sorry.
to the board.
I got a little ahead of myself. Please, go ahead. Oh, you first. Go ahead.
Okay, what you're doing is looking at this piece of property exclusively, like the rest of us don't exist. And that-
Negative,
Huh?
100% negative.
That's what you just said. I mean,
No,
the
no,
whole
no.
discussion has been on this one piece of property, nothing on anybody else's.
This is what's in front of us at this point in time. And as a board, we have to come up with a solution to improve on this to make it work properly.
Right.
And anybody that's got any questions or comments, please ask, because we're not here to do anything other than go forward.
Okay, well, at any rate, I'm unhappy with it. Now, just to start out, I want to look at the bigger picture. Number 19 is just got a building permit approved. And what they're going to do is tear down their cottage. They have already put a well in the front, which is 14 feet from my property. I'm at 21. And they're going to get a tight tank in the rear of the property. They're gonna build a 2-story place, but it's basically, it'll be available like a 3-season or whatever house that they're building. Now, I'm at 21. I'm a full-time resident. I'm the only full-time resident on this map. And I live there with my son and his girlfriend Bethany, and they're expecting twins in November. So anything that we do that affects us affects all of us. So what I have right now on 21,
Which side is your 21?
I'm
Right here,
21,
okay. All
just
right.
beside. I have a 40 foot, 19 is 25 feet. Going by the shoreline distances, 25 feet is 19, I get 40, 22 is 20, and then you have a lot over there, 60. So, at any rate, I have a cesspool in the rear of my house. And so I measured it today, it's like 10 feet from the back of my house. And then I have a well that's up on the hill that'll be adjacent to the one that the Putzids are requesting on 22. So then the thing is, if you go ahead and approve theirs, right now, we got a well in front on 19. You can have a septic in front on 22, which means I can't do anything in the front of my property because all the distances are too short.
That's why you asked for variances.
There's no, it's impossible. I only have, it's 65 feet from the road to the front of my house, 40 feet wide. I can't put a,
We can't change your property size.
right.
That's why you ask for variances, and we make a decision on whether, what needs to be done on your property, how it can fit, and where to put it. That's what we do.
But there's limits, aren't there, like 100 feet? If it's a 100-foot requirement, you can only limit up to
That's
50
what-
feet.
That's what you come and ask for
Can
a
you go down to
variance.
30? I don't
You
know.
you can ask for a variance of a foot if you want. Doesn't mean you'll be granted it, but you can ask for anything. Please, go ahead, Jim.
When we're working with the pre-existing condition, it's our responsibility to do the best we can with the conditions that are available, including you, if it comes to your time to make this happen. I have done this numerous times over the years. This is a more complicated situation, but we also have to determine the best insulation we can give to make it feasible for the site that we're working with. And when it comes to you, if you had to come in another year or 2 years and you got to upgrade, we have to work with you also at the same time. And we gotta do what we gotta do so that we can make these things happen. We don't wanna have to put anybody in financial harm way unnecessarily, and we gotta do the best we can to see that the septic that's a upgrade is properly installed and is gonna be most beneficial for the duration of the property. So, when you're doing a brand new site, that's a whole different ballgame. A brand new site depends on all the current regulations. You've got to abide by everything that's new. But on an upgrade with a pre-existing situation, we have to do the best we can to make sure that it's going to last as long as possible and it's going to be installed properly without obstruction to the town road, people that are driving by, etc. I have been here for a while and I realize that this is a good drawing, but I don't like the way it's done because it's too close to the road, period. So I'm asking the board and the public that's watching to be able to move this back to make it more practical all the way around. Now, if you were here sitting in a chair and you had issues in the same fashion, we would work with you and govern ourselves accordingly also.
Well said.
Well, number 25, number 22 has not had a survey. Isn't that required?
We can only focus on the one that's applying for the installation.
Well, that's who they are.
Pardon me?
That's who's applying for it.
Yeah, so you just said what, sir? It's not surveyed?
You're right. Shouldn't it be surveyed?
Dillis and Roy has put three of the 4 markers in, and we have a person who's going to find the last one down at the shore.
Okay.
So in terms of the real bound,
Do you want
I
to answer
have
that?
to go according to what's on the paper with the board right now. This is what the engineer is presenting us, and if there's a corner that's missing, that's between you and the homeowner or whatever, because this is what he's showing us on paper.
Yeah, so to answer your question, Title V does not require a survey. The requirement for a survey comes in when you're requesting a variance. That would reduce the offset to a property line to less than 5 feet.
Aren't we requesting variances here?
Less than 5 feet, so they're not requesting less than 5 feet.
Okay.
Now, their well is gonna require taking down tons of trees, tons of fill, building a road back there to actually drill their well. That doesn't matter to you.
That's out of our jurisdiction.
That's
sir.
not, yeah, because that is what's gonna have to happen.
Yeah, you gotta get the machine back there, but I will say, years ago, they used to do a 50-foot wide access, and I told the person at the time, why are you going so far away when you can bring it up to 100 feet and eliminate taking down all the trees?
Yeah,
This here is a very rare case, so we gotta work with what we have available.
Go ahead.
well, I just want to, so
Go ahead,
what I
please.
think the best solution for them is to have a well in the front and then have a tight tank down below.
We aren't working with the best scenario here. We have to work with what we have available.
All right, I at least wanted to give my opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm Karen and I own 22 and my
25.
question, sorry, 25. My question would be more to Evan in that you had mentioned that the existing condition is failed. How was that verified?
Is it Title 5 done? Correct.
How was the
No, we
current
couldn't-
system
it was-
deemed failed?
It, we had an issue, we came before the board last year, and because it was winter, first of all, we had a hard time finding anybody who would do it, or even locate it, and then because of the winter, there was, I mean, maybe Rick knows more of the laws relating to
Yeah,
this.
so I think, what ended up happening was they finally located the cesspool. It had a very thick concrete cover on the top of it. It was the middle of winter, and there was concerns about the ability to be able to complete the inspection. And so the board eventually met with the Potsets and allowed them to transfer title for the property and allow them 6 months after transfer to do the inspection. To my knowledge, the inspection was never completed, and they chose to move forward with an upgrade instead of the inspection.
So that was at the recommendation of the board, saying they prefer a real septic to a cesspool.
So yeah, I don't remember that conversation. So I know, we sat down and you had asked, would a newer system that's more compliant with Title V provide a better level of treatment as opposed to a cesspool? And I think my answer to you was yes, it would. And so I believe that's kind of when you made the decision that you were going to move forward with design of a new system.
So it's my understanding that the current system is still functioning, the family of four that was there before used it. So that's what I'd like to clarify.
They barely used it, because they never stayed there. They went there weekends.
Without regular use, the failed system is not gonna show that it's failed. It has to be used notoriously full-time. That's when you see the hydraulicing and everything.
Right. No, they would just come up, really, the last X number of years, a few times during the summer from New Hampshire and flush the toilet a few times.
Very minimal use, so when they arrived in the scene, there was probably no fluid left in the leach pit or whatever. It was already drained out, so they could have used all the water they wanted for a few day period and they never knew that there was an issue. So I've seen that before also. But
Like the same thing, I had a hole punched in the center of mine, and so they were able to pump it out. And after they say, hey, the thing is great. It's the dark stain is only about this far, and I think it's like 15 feet deep. It's really a work of art when you
I
look
didn't hear
at
that.
all those rocks.
I didn't hear that.
What's wrong with that?
So I guess that's my concern is, before you move forward and, take all the trees down and, go through all this nonsense, why are we not verifying that the current system works or doesn't work?
I think they have a right to upgrade their system.
The trees are for the well,
Yeah.
not for the septic, it's for the well.
And if it was a hand dug well or whatever, a different scenario, everything would be different on this, but it's all proposed to us right here with the variances that were requested. Fortunately, I've got experience here and I know that this can be improved on by sliding it back 15 feet. And that's why I'm making the recommendation to the board as a member of the board. And it's just in the best faith so that the town of Townsend knows we're doing our job.
Is there an association on the pond?
Yes.
Is there a rep for the association that manages these sort of things?
No.
You guys just get
Just
together?
informal.
It's a collective.
It's a collective,
Yeah.
so it's, do you guys pay dues
Yeah.
for snow removal around or anything?
No.
Just use?
Water
Lake
quality testing.
or-
But we don't
Just,
want to.
yeah, just
Water
general.
quality testing in the pond, yeah.
I don't think that really has anything to do with.
No,
this,
that's not in
No,
our
I'm
jurisdiction.
trying to get an understanding of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, of the concern and the fact that, like we stated to begin with, it's a pre-existing condition and we're just trying to improve it. So it makes it tough from us sitting here making the decision to not want to improve. And yeah, it takes a couple trees down, but it's an existing piece of property. What would anybody else want to do with the property but improve it over time?
Sure.
And we don't, obviously, we want to be friendly with our neighbors. Larry is Jane's cousin. And I think that, we had a conversation the other day, and he said that if we go ahead with this, he might be boxed in and not be able to do anything but a tight tank and a new well. And I said, we don't want a tight tank any more than you do. So the concern is looking at Larry's property, does it seem as if he would be able to do something other than a tight tank in the future if we do this?
Well, the existing well for 21 is actually closer than this proposed well. So he's already boxed in by himself.
Right, on his own property.
Your pre-existing condition
Yeah.
is worse than the one we're voting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I had my well in the front, then I got plenty of room for a septic in the back.
That's correct, and in the event that you come in front of the board at a future time,
Well,
I may not be here, but there'll be other
I won't be able
members.
to put the well in the front, that's the thing.
You
Because
can't
you're
put the
putting-
wall in the front, no.
No, because you're putting a septic up there.
There's already one.
That's my point, you guys are boxing me out.
There's already a cesspool
But-
there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but the well, your well pre-exists in the back,
True.
and a cesspool pre-exists in the front, so why would we flip it?
Wait a minute, what did you?
Your well's in the back of your property?
True, but I can drill an hole.
Okay, just hear me out. And their cesspool's in the front.
Right,
So why would they come forward with a condition that flips that scenario? When the pre-existing condition we're just improving on, we're not taking out your well in the back and their cesspool in the front, and then putting wells in the front and septic systems in the back. We're just building on what's pre-existing. So it wouldn't make any sense for them to change what you have and change what they have to put a septic in the back of their property, based on pre-existing conditions. Does that make sense? Are you following me there?
So basically what it is there's a cesspool there now.
right,
Your well is at the top of the hill.
right.
All they're doing is putting in a upgraded septic system where the cesspool is.
True.
That's not gonna change your condition at all. Because you're not gonna wanna move your well down, your well's already up top.
Right.
Your cesspool's on the bottom. Is that correct?
Yeah, right.
So you're not really boxed in, because you would put your septic tank where your cesspool is if you decided to upgrade. You wouldn't want to move your well down next to his thing. That doesn't make sense why you would do that.
Or you'd have to change the plumbing in your house to be able to put a septic system in, and you'd be right in tune with all the stuff going on. So it's actually good for you because both of the wells are behind you, so that leaves your front yard wide open for you to make your improvement.
I can't put a septic in the front.
In the front, you could put a septic in the
That
front.
you have one?
There's the well for
There's a new well.
19.
The well,
Sonora
they're right,
Road.
on 19, they just put a
It's already
well.
been drilled.
So really, if you were looking at it. And
Oh, I see what you're at, Rick, sorry about that.
That's the whole crux
And
of
the
the problem.
goal
If they had
was-
done it the other way around, it would be.
So if you were looking at his house and the pre-existing conditions along with what's proposed at number 22, you would assume that the location to try to gain max feasible compliance would be somewhere on the side of the property, which would obviously you require some variances in order to do that.
But we could still work with you to do a septic system on the side of your house. I can see where that's going where you are. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
So, we can assist you on that also. We're here to assist and please in most situations. We don't always succeed.
Well, the wide side is a driveway, and that's a big parking lot in the back, so it's not as easy as you might.
It's still doable though, because you can put it in so you can drive over it.
Yeah.
It's not something we restrict.
Oh, yeah, they can do that.
Okay?
The good news is your cesspool's working great.
Yeah?
Keep it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how
no
deep it is
Getting
though.
pumped on it August 31.
Apparently, it's very deep.
Well, I don't know how deep, I know I measured it.
Go ahead.
Hi, Joe Ducharme, I'm Karen's husband. I don't disagree with the board's motivation to put in a system that treats better. I think, I acknowledge that's a good step.
Thank you.
I do have one suggestion, and I have a few other things I'd like to mention. Rather than push the system, the leach field back 15 feet closer to our well on number 25, I understand the Enviro Septic, Presby system is very good, the 30-30 limits. Nitrates are a concern in drinking water. We'd prefer to not have that closer. Would it be considered by the board instead to add a leaching pipe and tighten the sideline distances rather than push right now on the plan there's no dimensions of the actual leach field that I can tell.
That's what's 37 by 7.5.
Okay, 37 by 7.5. So could we make it 37 by 9.5, or in other words add another leaching pipe to get that additional treatment? Is there a way to maybe make it a little bit shorter but add another pipe? Instead of 37, maybe it becomes 25 and you add another pipe.
Now, you got an artesian too, right?
It's a, yes,
You got an artesian, and
Yep.
it's a sealed well, it's sealed right down to the hard pan, it's got a steel pipe going into the rock.
I'm not sure how far the casing goes down. That well was
It's gotta
drilled.
go down to the hard pan or they couldn't have continued to drill.
I didn't drill it, I don't know. It was
I
probably,
know what drillers do, and you've gotta
Yep.
be into the ledge to be able to put the pipe in the ground
Yep.
and secure it.
yeah,
It's gotta be sealed. So, the rule for Title V is based on also all the shallow wells that are around that are not sealed to the ledge. So, when you have the artesian scenario, you got a much better system because of the fact that you're not gonna get any type of leaching aid that's gonna go that far and go down into that casing. It's not gonna happen. But in a lot of the towns that are in our area, there are a lot of old hand-dug wells that are still in existence. And the people are still using them, they've used them for years. So we gotta make sure that when we're doing this, it's basically pertaining to the hand-dug wells. And the guideline is the way it is, we can't change the guideline. I don't see any opportunity to change this other than to move it back to make it more feasible, and that, in my opinion, will have no reflection on your well whatsoever, because it's an artesian and that 8-inch pipe is driven down into the ledge.
all right, so other than 72 feet now, 60 feet, it's just closer.
Yeah, it's just a little bit closer, but we've actually done stuff in that area that the well has been closer than that, and we've had to grant the variances, because we have to work with everybody so
Yep.
that everybody has equal opportunity.
Yeah, no, understood. I think the water quality issue is gonna be better from the system.
Yeah.
I would like to request though, Mike, you had mentioned there's somebody locating a fourth pin for you.
Right.
I find that plan to be a little bit deficient in understanding how the final grading is gonna look when this is all done, particularly if you push it 15 feet farther from the road. The ground, the contours do drop off. We have a hedgerow along the property line. As that gets pushed back 15 feet, now we're into our hedgerow. If you're gonna have to level those pipes, which I believe you do, you're gonna be filling on the back side of that. I'd like to understand where the fill slopes go. I'd like to see a cross-section.
We'd have to request that from the engineer for the next time he brings the drawing in, so that it's drawn to our specifications.
Yeah.
But because we're moving back and the topo of the property does go down, I believe the system is actually gonna sit lower at the same time.
Yeah, that's fine. It's still gonna require fill.
It's only 2 or 3 feet though, it's gonna require a little bit. Can you answer that question?
So right now, there is no fill being proposed, it's actually a grade cut. So they're cutting grade over the system.
Yeah.
What was the groundwater at?
Bottom of hole, we didn't see any, so we went down, almost 10 feet, what is that?
Because it's all
9
sand,
feet.
right?
Yeah, 9 feet.
So it's,
more.
it's all sand, so they're gonna be able to work with that because they don't have the groundwater that's gonna interfere with everything.
Yeah.
So I feel that even moving that back, I think Rick will agree that it should be down level so there'd be no fill coming in.
Yeah.
Not like the raised systems you see around town.
It would be helpful to see, at least see a cross-section of that. What's on the plans, there's kind of generic information.
It should return to more or less what's there now.
Yeah, it's gonna go to.
Yeah, so I'd just like to see verification of that.
Okay.
Maybe a cross-section would be helpful. You've got some survey equipment, you could just, if you're gonna push it back 15 feet, measure it out, stake it out, put a cross-section so we know what we're gonna be seeing. We're gonna see a gooseneck now. Everything's gonna be pushed back a little
Should be
bit.
no gooseneck, Barry.
Isn't there a vent? Isn't there a vent on that system?
Just a vent, just a vent,
Yeah.
oh, the pressure system, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Pipe.
Yeah.
So it would be just good to see what the final grading is going to look like and maybe a cross-section of that area. We also, on the plan, it shows, near the road, it shows a 1,000/500 gallon septic tank. On the cross-section, it shows a 1,500 gallon tank. What's being put in?
It's a two-compartment tank.
1,500 gallons.
So it's a 1,500. Just wanted to verify that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
it's
it's,
1,000 and 500.
Yep, that's what we thought. We just wanted to verify that, so.
Thank you, Rick.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, and I think so far as the comments were made earlier about, tree cutting and road building and all that, that's gonna, again, I'd like to see the system just staked out, see some kind of cross-section that would tell us what we're gonna be looking at when it's done. And the trees, I guess
Well,
we're gonna
the trees are with the
have to
well,
plant.
not with
No,
the
I
septic.
understand that. It's gonna be a visual impact to all of us.
Yeah.
Initially, but,
I don't think that the Board of Health deals in what
Aesthetics.
it looks like.
yeah, no, understood.
I think that would be more of land use, maybe?
I don't think it's anything other than
Yeah.
he gets a permit from the building inspector to put a well on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had our lot surveyed, so we have our sideline marked and
Yeah.
staked. So, we don't want any encroachment on our property, but it's gonna be a very challenging system. You guys have, I think, handled it well.
Thank
It's,
you.
it's quite a multitude of variances and other issues, and,
We're here to make the best decisions we can to assist everybody in going forward.
We understand the lots are small.
We don't want people with hard feelings because we all have to live on this planet. We can do the best we can to
Yeah.
serve
well,
everything.
and I think ultimately the water quality is, that's the bottom line. So,
Correct.
Yep.
And once again, the artesian well is sealed here. It's foolproof in my opinion. I've
Yeah.
got one myself. I know
We
it's
just
well.
hope, as with Larry, someday if we come to you to do something, or our septic system fails, or our well has contamination, that, we get the same courtesy.
We're here to assist
Absolutely.
everybody and to do the best job we can for all.
Yep.
And that's our way it's been for many years since I've been on the board. I hope that carries on. All right?
I don't think a septic has ever failed up there because it's all sand.
It is all sand, but when we gotta make the
Everything
upgrade,
works, anything.
we gotta do it according to code is what we gotta do, and that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
So we can't complain to the state, they don't listen.
Sir,
Mr.
did you-
Chairman, I believe we could be ready.
Okay, any
you
more
all set,
questions,
Gavin?
Gavin?
Sir, I'm good.
Good, anybody else? Hearing none.
So.
How about a motion? Rick?
So, are you guys proposing to continue the hearing then, so that you can review the plan at the next meeting once those changes are made? and give
Yes,
them the
actually,
opportunity to-
that is true.
Okay, I'm gonna do something totally different with your permission, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask the engineer to explain to us the variances that we're going to be adjusting, and we'll make my motion on what he tells us, because he knows what he's doing, and I'd have to read everything through again.
Do we need to see a drawing with it
Well,
moved?
why don't, he,
Just
he,
wait
I
till the
think
next-
he understands
Yeah.
Yeah.
what you wanna do.
Let
Why
him
don't you
do the
make a motion
drawing.
to continue?
I'll simplify it.
Okay.
There you go.
I make a motion that we, can you do this in 2 weeks?
I hope so. I hope so. I don't have my schedule in front of me, it's very busy, but
So-
I will do my best. Yeah.
You can continue it 2 weeks. If it doesn't work out, then it can be continued again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I make a motion that we continue the hearing or the meeting or whatever you wanna call this until the engineer can come back with a newly drawn drawing with some elevations on it so the abutters can see that and vote on it and govern ourselves accordingly. No, what am I doing wrong, Colin?
It's gotta be continued to a
No, we gotta
specific date
continue
and
it.
time.
We just
Yeah, I knew I was gonna mess
And I
this
think
up.
the next
Okay.
meeting is actually,
Continue it.
All right, so can we get a motion to continue this meeting on 22 Sonora Road to September 14th?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Quick clarification on the elevations, the profile.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
I'll just clarify.
Aye.
So the groundwater is so low that the elevations don't need to change. So I mean, a profile will, there will be no The existing profile is the proposed profile.
The land isn't completely level, so if you're putting in level pipes, I'm not sure how you would.
You can fill
So you
fill
don't-
on
you
this
don't-
side, you can
even though
fill
your
a foot
detail
on this
shows
side
12
of two.
inches of fill, you may have 18 inches in some area.
Yeah,
That's
it
not
doesn't,
clear, that's not clear from your plan, that's why I asked for a
Type-
section through the plan to understand what exactly you're doing. It's the details are generic, so.
Yeah, intentionally though.
Oh, no, I understand, I understand.
it's, right, if it's, existing is to go back, we don't redraw the existing on the plan, we just keep the existing contour lines instead of the proposed contour lines, because the proposed are the existing, it would be confusing. It would just be bold.
Right, so if you were to show in your profile that there's 2 feet of cover on one end of the system and 1 foot of cover on the other, that would be clearer than what's shown on there right now.
Well, but it is though, because it's the existing contours are shown,
I understand.
and they're not shown to change
Yeah.
at all.
You're moving it 15 feet. There's slope on the land, so I'm not sure how the detail would be the same cover over the pipe. for the-
I think.
The next meeting, I think you can have what you need together, so you can
next
explain that to
meeting.
the gentleman
You're
and
more
or
than
to
welcome
him
to come
a
back
little bit.
Yeah,
at the next meeting and,
Let's have a
We'll
discussion
make it
after
happen.
this.
yeah, you can do that. All right, so, you're all set. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move to, let's see, 1.6, 367 Townsend Hill Road update. Upgrade, I'm sorry.
So I'm the agent.
Yeah, he's gonna stay with us. All right, what do you got, Rick?
So, existing house with a failed system. And so they have an irrigation well here, existing well serving the house is here, existing system right now is in the back. We did testing over to the, looking from the street to the left of the property, to the left of the house. They're proposing a 1,500 gallon 2 compartment tank and 3 leaching trenches. There is one change that I requested, so I don't have a permit tonight, but the engineer had asked if I could still present this to you. This grading on this side and this side are a little tight, not by much, but it is a little tight, and it doesn't quite meet the 3-to-1 grading requirements for Title 5. So he was going to adjust that, but other than that, it is in full compliance with your regulations and with Title 5. And so I guess his request is to approve it with the condition that that grading be changed to meet the 3-to-1 grading requirements that Title 5 has, and to be willing to issue a permit once that's done.
These trenches in 3 different elevations, Rick?
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so bottom chunk of it out here, so 103, 103.5 and 104. So a half foot
So
difference.
the trenches go
Step
with,
down.
Stepping down from land, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can do that with the condition that,
Is that just because there's a lot of contour?
it's the grade of the slope of the land, so instead of having to build it up 9 feet on one side, they just
Just
lower
settle.
the trenches as they go down the side of the slope.
Yeah, you end up saving 1.5 foot of fill over here
Yeah.
every time you get there.
That makes sense.
It saves money and,
It's a lot.
so can we good with this?
I'm good with it.
Okay, so we want to make a motion with the
I'll
proposal
let Gavin
that.
do this one, I'm
Yeah.
tired from the last time.
Yeah, we just make a motion with
This
the,
is 367, yes?
go ahead, with the, make sure you throw in the, with the stipulation that they change the
I'm gonna make a
grades.
motion.
Grading on
Yeah.
the slope area, final
Yes.
slope.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the plan for 367 Townsend Hill Road with the forthcoming variance of a 3-to-1 ratio
So just a revision.
revision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, with a revision for the 3-to-1 ratio on the contour.
Yep.
Grading.
Grading.
And then, so the only other thing would be, if you guys want to sign the permit, then I can just give it to Carla and you can do that, or I could sign it on your behalf, really up to you guys.
Let's get one motion done first.
Yeah.
I guess I'm saying it should probably be all one.
All in one?
Yeah,
And
Okay.
yeah.
I'm in favor of that.
I'm in favor of that. Go ahead, yeah.
I'm
We'll let
fine.
Rick just sign it.
Also, we'll have Rick sign on the behalf of the board.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, that was pleasant. 1.7, 6 Shirley Road. Oh, upgrade with variances.
Ooh, this is a bad one.
Ooh,
I
is
know a
it?
little bit about this one.
Oh, no.
So again, an existing house with a failed system. Shirley Road is here. There is a brook that runs along this side of the property. Existing system is actually underneath this section of the
shed.
house.
Under the shed.
It's under the deck.
And so we had originally
Wait a
looked,
second, did we have this before?
I
I've
haven't
never
called
seen it before.
no.
Yeah.
This
What was
is
the
a-
one we had, the guy wanted to put his deck over or something?
oh, we did
Put a
have
hole.
that one. So he had a septic tank and you
Yeah.
guys had asked him to make the deck so that section could be
Removed. Remember that
for
one?
replacement.
I do know.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought this
So,
was. Go ahead.
originally the engineer had looked at this area and, he was concerned that, there just wasn't enough space to try to fit a system in. So there is quite a big elevation change coming up here, so, 108 contour down there, and 106 at the bottom of the hill. By the time you get up, you're up to 116.
Wow.
And so they're requesting to put a 1,500 gallon compartment tank in, a 1,000-gallon pump chamber, and then pump it up to infiltrator chambers. The reason that they're proposing infiltrator chambers is they're plastic and they're just going to be easier to get up that hill than trying to truck up stone or some other type of a system.
Makes sense to me.
So, the one variance that they are requesting is a reduction to the wetlands from 100 feet to 80 feet. And really, I don't see any way to get any farther away from it than they are.
Yeah. Okay,
That's the way it's gonna be.
yep. Okay, do we get a
It's a
motion?
pre-existing condition, once again.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve 6 Shirley Road, upgrade with
Variance.
variances.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Whoa, this next one's a good one. We haven't seen this one in a while. This is new, for anybody that wants to know. This is a COVID update. You gotta have some fun.
Mr. Chair, do you mind if I run upstairs?
Right now, I don't think we have much left. Invoices we can do without you, I guess, and minutes and recycle center update.
I got a little drawing here if you wanna see it quick
Yeah.
about the slab.
That I think we're gonna move because we're gonna need to vote on that, all three of us, because,
What are you going,
Do you wanna
conservation?
hit this real quick? Yeah, let's go with it real quick.
all right, let's move down then.
You
We're gonna just move down to recycle center
Do you
so we
mind,
can get
Rick?
in there. Jim, and I'll tell you, I was there Saturday, I was there for about 2-3 hours, helping out, and I know you will fit 5 dumpsters on it, but I don't think you thought of, because I didn't until I got there and talked to Sean. If we move the dumpsters closer together, right, which you...
4 feet between them. I was there today and measured it. It's
4 feet?
57 feet.
4 feet between them, and that still open the door, and you'll still open the door, and he can, I don't know, see, he was telling me he won't be able to load the middle of the dumpsters because he won't be able to turn the machine in 4 feet.
He can't do that if you put 4 on there now, there's another for him to get the
He
machine.
can. He showed me he can. What is there now, the way they're set,
Yeah.
he can get the machine in, lift it up, and spin in place. And load
I'm
the
just
center
a member of the
dumpster.
board, if you guys
Yeah.
don't wanna paint.
No,
lines.
it's, I'm just letting you know that, because otherwise, we're not loading the dumpsters correctly. We won't
Does he
be
do it to
able-
all of them, or just to 2 or 3 of them?
No, the way
The
they were
middle
sitting
ones.
there now, the center of the dumpster, he can actually get in between them,
Yeah,
lift the load, spin himself and load the center of the dumpster.
alright.
I'm just letting you know. I mean, talking to Sean, he showed me, this is, because I didn't think of it either. Like you, it's like, you won't be able to load the centers of the dumpsters if they're too close together. We are gonna have 5 dumpsters, we're actually gonna have 6, I think, right? We got the metal one that's still out back, and then we're gonna have the mattress one.
We didn't build a pad big enough.
We
Before we finished, we did building.
Pad number 2.
God. And that's just unfortunate. Just unfortunate. I think we have enough room that we could put the dumpsters either towards, the old hole or down towards the, what do you call it, Carla?
Landfill, the.
Landfill, yeah. You know, down where they did towards the woods.
Well, the mattress container is already in the back where the recycling containers were. Do you remember when you were there? Did you
Yeah.
see that?
No, I didn't.
We should leave the mattress one there because it's smaller.
Let's move this so he can go.
Yeah.
We'll discuss it next time. 'cause
All right, we'll keep that for next time.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Okay, Gavin?
Yep.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye,
so
guys.
let me sign this out here, and we are,
Okay.
I guess we're gonna do COVID update, Rick.
So you did 6 Shirley Road?
Yes, we
Luckily
got,
we have
yeah, I know
that.
you left,
I know.
we,
It's okay, it's recording, so I can just catch it on
Yeah.
recording.
okay, well, we approved it with the,
Variance,
Variance.
80 feet opposed to 100 to the wetland.
Okay.
and that was, proposed by Gavin and seconded by Jim. Okay? 1.8 COVID update, Rick.
All right, so, just go over the numbers. So, 818 was the last reporting by the state, and Townsend had 13 current cases in that previous 2-week period. As far as the 14-day average daily incidence rate, Townsend was at 10.2. Percent positivity rates was 10.49% for Townsend, 16.8% for Middlesex County, and 17.5% for the state. So as far as that goes, lower than the state average. As far as I've heard, it's still that BA2 and BA5 variants that are going around, so the Omicron variants, the mutations. I think that's really all that I have on COVID. We really haven't received any updates as far as that next vaccination series.
No talk about monkeypox.
If you want to, I really don't have any updates since
That's
we
what
had
I
talked
mean.
about it last
Yeah,
time.
we don't
either,
have
yeah.
anything, so. Okay.
And then I think that everybody had received this email from Jenna Montgomery in our office. So she was just asked me to remind you guys that she has a doodle poll is what she calls it. So I think it's just like a survey that she sent out to all the board members. And she said reaching out to ask when you see your board's admins, you could remind them about the below opportunity to gather regionally and share resources and ideas and to take the doodle poll. I've heard back from Broughton and Dunstable so far, so just a reminder that if you do want to reach out to her to do that.
All right.
And I think she had sent out the original email on August 8th, and you are on here, Carla, so if you want to go back and look at it.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
That all you got?
That's all I got.
Any questions, Jim?
No?
I have none either. And I thank you for your attendance and your help today.
All right, no problem. Have a good night, guys.
Okay, now we'll go to 1.9, which is invoices.
Invoices. Shaw's are bulky over the contract, which is normal. They had a $6,000 credit, and with the recycling so crazy, we have approximately about 5,000 more. So it was $11,000 to dispose of all the recycling. The Board of Health grant is actually taking care of $2,600 of that, so we were only hit with 3,000.
Very good.
So if you will have to sign, I only have one line here, but if you can sign that page and this page, because they're coming out of 2 different accounts. Our open signs for the recycling center, a lot of positive feedback. I have it right out at the rec center when it's open, recycling center open this Saturday. People seem to love it. it reminds them.
And
That's
no
all I
one, no
have.
one's playing with it right now?
No one's playing, well, it's a written sign, you can't.
Oh,
I
it's-
wrote it.
oh,
There's
it's
no-
not- it's
no,
not the
there's no
letters anymore.
rearranging letters anymore, no.
Okay,
Minutes of June 23rd.
yep.
And as you're looking at that, I know you guys were talking about the recycling center, but I think we've all determined that you do want to accept the mattress grant.
I think we have to,
It's a no-brainer.
yeah.
Okay, so
have
if we
to.
could have a motion on that, that would be great.
Make a motion to accept the mattress grant.
I'll second that. All in favor?
All right.
Aye, very good.
Okay, because this has to be signed by September
Yeah.
1st, so it goes up to Eric Slagle, and I've already sent him 2 emails on it, so he knows it's coming.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm a little busy right now to be dragging it up to him, so,
It's all right, you don't have to.
okay.
Raw Material has called me back, so it's just a matter of the two of us connecting to talk about what type of a container and where we want to place it and what the terms will be.
Okay.
I also have the tires being removed tomorrow or Friday.
Can't wait to see what bill that's gonna be.
Don't even talk about it.
Oh, boy. I'm wondering too, this is for, if we in work sessions, yeah. While we're talking about it, I'm wondering with the mattresses and the tires, if we're gonna have to raise prices.
We're gonna see how it turns out with the tire bill, because I've already talked to a lot of there's facilities that just aren't taking them anymore, so it's sooner or later we're gonna get hit. Let's see what the bill is gonna be. I'm really excited that we finally found someone.
Yes, yes. And, I'm still sticking with a couple $1,000.
It used to be between 200 and 500, so
Yeah.
if it's a couple of thousand, I will have a very hard time with that.
Yeah, well-
We are at the mercy.
We have to wait till
of
we
the-
get the bill to
Well,
find out.
we're at the mercy of
It's
the
a no
market.
choice scenario.
It's, they are only charging us $5 a tire when we have up to 2.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
$35 an hour for them to remove it.
oh, so they dropped 5 then.
They did.
Oh,
They,
good,
they dropped, they said 10 a tire at first
right.
and $40 an hour. And
Right,
when
that's why I
called
said
today-
2,000.
Yeah, so.
$40 an hour to unload all those tires?
And I think there's
Wow.
probably about 300 of them, so.
Well,
But it only happens every
Yep.
2 years, so.
yep, so it's all right. We can deal with it.
Okay.
All right.
Jim, minutes.
Yep. Wow.
Your next meeting is September 14th.
Yes, it is. I can see that. At 6 p.m. Wow. That's the second week. Oh my God, time's flying. Where did summer go? Jesus. Yeah, this is last week of August. Wow.
Metal buildings will require a mask, but flights will not. What's that mean?
The federal agencies changed the COVID, now this, you're looking at June 23rd, so this is 2 months ago. So on June 10th, there was a new mask advisory that was issued, effective July 1st, most masks will be optional. The
Okay.
medical buildings will still require them, but the flights will not, so flights were
Okay, now I get it.
optional. And that was on July 1st. I'm more freaked out about all the shark attacks that are down at Myrtle Beach. You know, do you know shark attacks are up 42% since 2020 in the
Do you know
United
what?
States? 42% in the last 2 years?
They're hungry.
I don't want to go to Florida or Myrtle Beach anymore. Just
I
don't look at those.
will never go to Florida again. I don't have to. My mother's not there anymore. 30+ years of going to Florida every single year. I'm done. Yeah, so we actually are still tabled stable regulations and septic regulations and.
Septic
Yeah, I gotta get
regulations
together
will be
with Rick
coming
on
up,
that.
and this
Yeah.
was another reminder for us too about where we were, so yes, you and Rick will have to, but I
Yeah.
think that will, your schedule will clear
Be
more
after
in.
Labor Day right now.
Exactly, exactly.
Jim, hold on to this, bring it with you next time, and we'll let
Do you want me
Gavin
to
take a
hold on
look.
to it?
Either way, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
I think it's useless now anyway, that's okay.
No, I don't think so.
Not necessarily, it is a board, and if Gavin says yeah, then,
And I'm
Then
surprised that
that
Sean
is-
isn't here because he said that he was coming.
yeah, he did tell me he was coming too. So, hey, maybe next time. Okay, now it is at 7:10. Can I get a motion to close?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, everyone. That was a very productive meeting.